The laughter started the moment she walked into the small-town cafe. Emily had grown used to it, the whispers, the mocking smiles, the cruel stares. Her clothes were plain, her face carried visible scars that ran from her cheek down to her neck, and her arms bore marks she never tried to hide. To the people in that little town, she was just that strange woman who lived on the edge of town in a run-down house, working odd jobs, keeping mostly to herself. On this particular day, a group of young people at the corner table couldn't help themselves. "Look at her," one girl sneered loudly, "she looks like she's been through a war." The others burst into laughter, pointing and nudging each other. Emily lowered her head, clutched the strap of her old canvas bag tighter, and quietly moved to the farthest seat in the cafe. She ordered only a black coffee, her usual. She never argued, never snapped back, never explained. What was the point? No one cared about the truth. But today, someone else was in the cafe. A man in his 40s, broad-shouldered, with eyes that carried both weight and wisdom. His jacket gave him away, an old military coat with faded patches. He had the bearing of someone who had seen far too much, someone who carried invisible scars of his own. His name was Daniel, a decorated veteran who had recently moved to town for peace and quiet. As Emily sat, Daniel's eyes caught something. When she rolled up her sleeve slightly to stir her coffee, a tattoo revealed itself on her forearm. It wasn't decorative or stylish. It was sharp, precise, military. His breath caught in his chest. He knew that symbol. It belonged to a special medical unit that had served in one of the harshest war zones overseas. He had seen that tattoo before, worn by those who had kept men like him alive when everything around them was falling apart. Daniel stood abruptly, his chair scraping against the floor. The laughter from the young group faltered for a moment as they noticed him crossing the room. He walked straight to Emily's table and spoke in a voice that silenced the cafe. "Ma'am," he said firmly, "where did you serve?" Emily's eyes widened. For years, no one had asked her that. No one had cared. She looked up at him slowly and replied, her voice quiet but steady, "Kandahar. Field Hospital, 2009 to 2012. Daniel's throat tightened. His own memories flooded back: dusty nights, desperate firefights, the sound of helicopters rushing wounded men back to safety. He remembered the medics who worked tirelessly, patching soldiers together, often while under fire themselves. His eyes went to the scars on her face, then back to the tattoo. He realized this woman was no outcast, no strange figure to be mocked. She was a hero, one who had likely saved countless lives. He straightened and saluted her. Right there, in front of everyone. The cafe went silent. The group of young people who had laughed earlier stared in shock. No one moved. Emily blinked, her lips parting, as if unsure how to respond. It had been so long since anyone had shown her respect. Tentatively, she raised her trembling hand and returned the salute. Daniel lowered his arm but didn't lower his voice. "You see this woman, you mock her scars, but those scars came from saving lives. You sit here enjoying your freedom, your safety, your comfort, because of people like her. Don't you dare laugh at her again." The young people shifted uncomfortably, their faces burning with shame. One of them muttered an apology, too embarrassed to meet Emily's eyes. Emily sat frozen. For years, she had hidden away, convinced the world only saw her brokenness. Now, someone had spoken the truth aloud. She wasn't just a scarred woman. She wasn't just someone to be pitied or ridiculed. She was part of something far bigger, a bond of service, sacrifice, and survival that could never be erased. From that day on, things slowly began to change. Daniel would often meet her at the cafe, sharing stories only soldiers and medics could truly understand. The whispers in town grew quieter, replaced by hesitant respect. People began to greet her differently. She wasn't that strange woman anymore. She was Emily, the veteran, the healer who had carried others through hell and back. Still, the journey wasn't easy. Emily wrestled with nightmares, with the memories of those she couldn't save, with the pain that never quite left her body. But now, she wasn't alone. Daniel helped her find a veterans group in the nearest city, where she connected with others who carried scars of their own. Slowly, she found purpose again, volunteering at hospitals, sharing her story with young recruits, and even mentoring others who felt invisible. The scars never left, but they no longer defined her as broken. Instead, they became marks of resilience, symbols of a past that had tested her but not destroyed her. And every time she saw Daniel, she remembered that moment in the cafe, the day one voice of recognition turned years of shame into dignity. The inspiring message she carried now was clear: scars are not signs of weakness, they are proof of survival, of battles fought and endured. And behind every scar is a story worth honoring. Because sometimes, it only takes one person to remind the world who you truly are.